How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video. And today I want to talk about my recent experience with Apple service and customer service. And as the title says, it's a two-sided story. There's some things going on here that they're good and bad. So let me get started off and give you a little bit of backstory into this. So in 2017, I bought an iPhone 8 Plus. I was in India at the time, so I bought it from India. And in India, when you buy an iPhone, it was at least the case when I bought it back in 2017, the iPhones would have regulatory markings below the iPhone text. So I'll put a photo up on the screen. They have this text down below, but those same text, like those scripts, they don't come on US phones. So if you looked at it when you compare it to a US phone, it might look like it's a fake back or something like that, but that's not the case. In the UK and India, those are two countries I know for sure, they do require those markings, or they did at least when I bought the phone. So it has that marking. Now, why this will come into play a little bit later into the story. So what happened was my brother has been using the iPhone 8 Plus I bought back in 2017, and what he did was he unfortunately dropped it and it cracked, and it happens. Glass is glass, it breaks. So what I decided was to get it fixed for him, and at the same time get the battery replaced. He's a little bit hard on his phone, so the battery in the last year and a half, it's already down to like 84% battery health. So I was like, you know what, perfect time. You're going in, getting the display fixed anyways. While they're doing that, let's just have it done, and you'll have a really pretty solid phone for the next year and a half or year, however much you decide to use it. So that was the plan. So what I did was, with Apple, at least in the US now, what you have to do is either you take an appointment or you go in and you're at their mercy of how long it'll take. So I got an appointment for Saturday at 2 p.m. and I walked into the store Saturday 2 p.m. perfectly on time. When you walk in, you let someone know that you're here. They'll check you in and then they'll direct you to a part of the store. So you just got to go there, wait, sit around, and someone will come find you. So in this case, I waited a couple minutes. Someone came and found me, and they looked at the phone. They're like, oh, okay, you want to get the display fixed? I was like, yeah, the battery as well. So they're like, all right, this is all how it's going to happen. They explained the process to me, told me it's going to take about 2 hours, showed me the price and everything else. So the cost was about $230 for the display and the battery, which honestly I thought it was really, from Apple, I thought it was a great deal, because display replacements are expensive as it is. So coming from Apple, I thought that was a fair price. So I was okay with it. I told him all was good. Let's get started on the process. So he said, cool, it's going to take 2 hours. When you we're not going to they don't text you or anything that it's done. There's come back at 4 o'clock, meet someone, and they'll tell you what you need to do. So I was like, cool. And I just kind of hung around the Apple store. I didn't have anything else to do. So I just brought my computer and I was working there for 2 hours. And at this point, the simple conclusion should have been, I picked up the phone, paid for the repair, and went on my way. That's not what happened. So at 4 o'clock, I go and I tell a guy, hey, I'm here. I'm here to get the phone. It should be ready by now. He's like, cool. What's your name? He got me checked in again, told me to go wait at a certain part of the store where all the people were picking up their repair. So this is a Saturday. So Saturdays are pretty busy. There was a bunch of people picking up their phones ahead of me. So only one guy handling that process. Busy store. So I understand it's going to take a little bit of time. So again, wait, this is about, I'd say about 4:15, 4:20. After 15, 20 minutes of waiting, my name finally gets called up, and I'm like, thank goodness, let me just grab this phone and go, because it's Saturday. I don't want to spend my entire day at an Apple store, however much I like it. So he calls me up and he's like, okay, here you go. Here's your phone. He opens the box that it's in, and the display is still cracked. And I am so confused at this point. I don't understand what's going on. Obviously, he doesn't understand what's going on. He's just the guy who's returning the phones. He's not really doing the repairs. He has no idea what's going on in there. So he's not to blame, but we're all confused here for a second. I'm like, what's going on? And he's like, all right, give me a second. I'm going to find out. So he checks on his iPad, looks it up, and he says, okay, the replacement wasn't completed because your back glass has been replaced. And I'm like, what? That's crazy. This phone has never seen any repair shop ever before. This is all original, how I bought it from you guys. And he's like, okay, give me a second, let me go find someone else to help you. And again, the waiting game starts. He's like, all right, go over to another side of the store, wait there, someone will come find you. So again, another couple minutes, someone does come find you. So they always come find you, but you're really just at the mercy of them, their time screen. And it's kind of chaotic there in the Apple store. So you just gotta roll with it. And I waited. The guy came over. I explained the entire story to him, and I told him, look, I bought this phone in India. In India, they have these markings. I'm pretty sure that's what your guy saw. And he was like, oh, this is a fake glass. It's not. It's 100% original. It's never been touched. And this back glass wasn't cracked or broken or anything. It was in perfect condition. Nothing wrong with it, just the back glass. So I'm ready to lay into him at this point as to, number one, if you weren't going to do the repair, why didn't you contact me and tell me that the repair won't be done so I could come talk to you guys? Number two, what does the back glass have to do with a screen replacement and the battery? The back glass is not cracked. There's no issues with it. It's not jutting out or anything. It's perfect. It shouldn't affect my battery and my screen replacement at any cost. Why are you going to do this? And I was just really upset at this time that they kind of dropped the ball here. And what happened was, I'm pretty sure the guy sensed that I was on the cusp of being, kind of letting him have it. Now, I wasn't going to be rude or anything to him, but I was definitely going to lay into him a little bit and, find out why they're not doing this. So, like, why their process is so messed up. And at this point, he says, hang on. Give me a couple minutes. I'm going to take this back to my guy, and we're going to look at what's going on, and I'll give you, we'll figure it out. At this point, I'm just like, you know what, fine. Go talk to him, and then we'll talk. So I kind of cooled off a little bit. Like, I was still angry. I was going to let him have it a little bit, but you can't really do anything at this point. I wanted to figure out what he was going to do about this and if they were going to do the repair. Now, remember, it's already 4 o'clock. I had to be somewhere at 5. So I honestly I was in a little bit of a rush at that point. So I was I was not sure what I was going to do at this point, because if they do say the repair, if they do accept the repair, I have to spend another 2 hours or whatever. So I was thinking in my mind, you know what, I'll pressure them into doing it faster or putting me at the top of the list so I can be out in like 30 minutes, whatever. Already coming up with this stuff in my mind. And after a couple minutes, guy comes over. He's like, okay, so my technician made a mistake. He was just rushing through it, didn't notice that the phone was from India. And he's like, okay, so now if I do go for and do your replacement, it's gonna take me a long time. So instead of making you guys wait, we're just gonna replace your phone and send you on your way. And I'm like, all right, that sounds fine with me. It gets me out of the store and it gets me a new phone, right? I was like, I was happy at this point alone. Now, I mean, happy is an ocean, but I was definitely no longer mad or upset. I was like, great, at least I'm getting it and I'm gonna get out without having to waste another 2 hours of my day. And the icing on the cake here was they didn't charge me for it. So I got the repair done for free basically because they messed up. And while this is amazing, I think this is one of the greatest things about Apple, right? They take care of you in situations like this where they messed up. But my question is, now, if this was, say, a third-party replacement glass, why wouldn't you do the repair? They said that their VMA, I'm not sure if this is what they called it, but they said their VMA guy didn't allow you to do it or something like that. And I was just like, how does the back glass have anything to do with the battery or the screen? You should be able to fix it, period, right? And it just kind of drives me nuts. And this is a big reason why I do support right to repair. While I personally prefer getting things fixed at Apple, I'm glad to pay them their premium because I trust their work. I am also very, I really believe that right to repair needs to exist. These third-party shops need to exist because sometimes they do things a lot easier and they don't complicate things like Apple does. A quick story, my brother's, again, he's had a hell of a year with Apple products. His 2017 MacBook Air wasn't turning on. It would absolutely not turn on. I took it to the Apple store. I wasn't sure what they were going to say. They said that the only thing they could do is replace the logic board because they can't individually replace parts or something according to their guidelines. I don't know what that's about. I'm like, if that's the case, I'm probably not going to do it because I'm not spending $600-700 on a logic board replacement on a $1,000 computer. So what I did was I took it to a third-party Apple authorized store. So they're not Apple themselves, but they are authorized by Apple. And what those guys did were they were able to get in and find the exact issue, and they got it fixed for me in 2 days, and it only cost me $60. That was it, and that's a big reason why I think that both need to exist. While I'm glad that Apple took care of me here and replaced my phone, it's very weird to see how their entire process operates. And it left me holding mixed feelings here because I was very happy they replaced the phone. They didn't charge me anything. You know, I was still willing to pay at that point, honestly, because they did the work. They replaced my phone. I was gonna pay regardless, and I would be, even if they just replaced the phone and I paid for it, I would still be happy with that. But what confuses me is they have these weird processes where if certain things don't line up, they just won't do the repair. And then if that is the case, they don't notify you, so you have to figure it out yourself, and that's insane. So that's the two sides of Apple service, you know. I've seen a lot of people complain about third-party repair shops and why right to repair isn't a big deal. I've seen a lot of people complain that way. So it was kind of just me touching on this point, especially based on my recent experience. Apple took care of me. They replaced my phone. They didn't charge me anything. But I still think that shows a big hole in the way that their service and customer service operates. I should not have had to deal with that. The outcome was amazing for me, but it shouldn't have happened in the first place. So that's it for this one, guys. Let me know what you think about this experience. And if you've had any similar experience with Apple where they say something isn't able to be done and then they kind of fix it for you, or you find another way to get it done from a third party, let me know. I'm very curious as to seeing what other people's interactions with Apple have been like. Because I've heard, you know, mostly positive, but I've definitely heard some nightmare and horror stories as well. So I want to kind of see if, you know, the reality lies somewhere in the middle, which it probably does. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel and follow me on social media. I'll have all the links right here. And as I said, leave your experiences down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.